in addition to the disciples walking with Christ, there's also that the New Testament was written in the time of the believers. That, meaning that they could have came out and said, this is not true. This isn't what happened. This isn't what Jesus said. And they didn't. James, the first book of the Bible, was written, and they think 45 BC was the first book. And James was also the first of the big wig followers to be martyred. Stephen was martyred, of course. But James, of the people who wrote the New Testament, was the first to be martyred. And all of those books were written before. The latest says 95 BC, and the earliest says about 87 BC, and that would be John writing Revelation on the island of Patmos. And that's a pretty short time span. That is 50 years, basically, of the whole New Testament being written. And it could have been disputed. It could have been debunked. It could have been said, hey, no, this ain't true. This ain't the way it happened. But we have no history of any of that. None. You know what we do have a history of? We have a history of Pontius Pilate's name being found. A little more, too, is that one of the proofs we have of the Bible is the collections that we have found archaeologically, including the Dead Sea Scrolls. And we found almost, or if not the whole of Isaiah, the whole scroll of Isaiah that was compared to the oldest scroll of Isaiah that the Jews had, and they were found to be virtually identical, with no major errors to note. Maybe a jot or a tittle, which is a small mark on the paper. They might have been different, but nothing of substance. They couldn't find anything that was different. And that's amazing. And people say, well, how can we know that the Bible is accurate? It's because we have found so many copies of it that we've been able to compare these different bits. And we're pretty sure we got it pretty close. More on that.